Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, please subscribe. I'd really love that. If you're returning, how you doing? All right, where's my fellow Italians at? Where's my paisans? All right, who loves meatballs? Raise your hand. All right, okay. Now listen. Apparently, and I say that, God help us all. Okay. There's a producer of lab-grown meat. I know you're saying, oh Lord, not again. But I digress. They have unveiled an ancient appetizer that's perfect for your paleo diet. Who's on the paleo diet? Not I, said the duck. Quack. So there's an Australian synthetic meat producer called Vow that have unveiled a meatball made from the genetic material of the woolly mammoth. Yep. And the meatball was created by using proteins synthesized from the mammoth genome and is part of the company's mission to fight sea change using lab-grown meat. Now, personally, as a Sicilian, I will tell you that when I craft and make the perfect meatball, it is made with ground beef, ground pork, egg, and Italian seasoned breadcrumbs, and it is rolled into a perfect sphere. It is then put into the oven for about 15 minutes and then put into a vat of my homemade marinara sauce. Yes. And then it is displayed over homemade pasta. Now, I ask you, would you prefer my homemade meatballs or something from the prehistoric era of the woolly mammoth? Jesus Christmas. Jesus, fix it. Please. Okay. He's crying up there. Saying, why? All right. So, this company will unveil the creation of the Nemo. Yes, like the fish. Science Museum in Amsterdam. And the mammoth meatball, here, let me show you a picture, just so you can get an idea. This ginormous thing was created with the help of a researcher at the Australian Institute for Bioengineering at the University of Queensland. This synthesized mammoth muscle tissue using a DNA sequence for myoglobin, the protein responsible for the pigment and flavor of red meat. He then filled in the gaps. When you have to fill in the gaps, we use that term for our prepper pantries, not while making meatballs, okay? For the love of God. He filled in the gaps in the genetic material using DNA from the African elephant. Help! Which is a close relative of the mammoth. The DNA was then implanted in myoblast, the precursor to muscle cells, from a sheep. Oh goody! Sheeps. So it was then replicated into about 20 billion cells, enough to produce 400 grams of mammoth meat. They said it was ridiculously easy and fast. We did this in a couple of weeks. And they added that the original goal of the project was to create a chicken nugget out of meat from the dodo bird. But the necessary DNA sequences do not exist. No kidding! But nobody has tasted the mammoth meatball. Who would? And it's very likely that nobody will. No shite! They said, we haven't seen this protein for thousands of years, so we have no idea how our immune system would react when we eat it. I wouldn't eat it either. But if we did it again, we certainly do it in a way that it would make it more palatable to regulatory bodies. Not me. I wouldn't touch it. They said they understand that people initially would be wary of such meat. Yeah. It's a little bit strange and new. It's always like that at first, but from an environmental and ethical point of view, I personally think cultivated meat makes a lot of sense. Where's your brain? Did you leave it on your pillow when it leaked from your ears? So the company chose the mammoth specifically to push a message of the dangers of sea change. We chose the woolly mammoth because it's a symbol of diversity loss and symbol of sea change. For the love of God. Lab-grown meat is also moving forward with regulatory approval in the U.S. FDA. Completed. I can't even speak because my Italian ancestors are screaming from heaven saying, don't touch it. Help. This is an atrocity. Anyway, they completed its first pre-market consultation for a human food made from cultured animal cells in November. The FDA reviewed a synthetic chicken product made from upside food. Yes, I remember that. And said it had no further questions. You should be questioning everything. Everything. The mammoth meatball is not only fossil-sized fare synthesized from the prehistoric DNA. What's next? Triceratops? Jesus. God. Oh, but it only gets better. In 2018, a company called Geltor used DNA from a mastodon, mastodon, a distant relative of the woolly mammoth, to create gelatin from collagen proteins. And that gelatin was then used to create elephant-shaped gummy candies. Yum. Our gummy bears are no longer safe. Oh my God. They are destroying Italian cuisine as we know it. And our gummy bears. Gummy worms. Sour Patch Kids. Everything. Help. Alright guys. I'm out of here. I'll see you in the next one. You stay safe. You stay positive. You keep prepping. And as always, fearless. Ciao.